Okay. Hi. Hello, everybody. And today we're going to be talking about, just racism in general.
I'm just kind of happy to be here, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Okay. So, let's talk about stereotypes first. Stereotypical blacks, Mexicans, whites, Asians. It's ridiculous. People talk about coexisting and being okay with people being different, but I don't see very much of people being okay with it. There's a lot of, this is not racist, but there's a lot of people who don't have textured or coiled hair touching black or Hispanic people's hair or Indian hair because it's different, and I don't think that's okay. Any type of touching without permission, that's not alright. Disrespecting the person, ask the person if it's alright to touch their hair first or stuff like that. It's just really disrespectful. Second off, don't stereotype everyone. Do not. Not all Muslims are terrorists, not all blacks are crazy, or they're not there for their kids. Don't say that people are the way they are because you don't know them. You don't know their backstory. You don't know what made them do the things that they do, or you don't know them because not every race does exactly what you say. Not all Asians are bad at driving. Not all Muslims are terrorists. Not all black men leave their kids. My father's still here. My friend's father are still there. Some of my friends have complete families and they're African American. Then on social media I hear, let's not see color. Don't you ever say that to me because I will smack you on spot. Let's see color because that's important. It's very important that you see color. Because pretty much when you're saying I don't see color, it's like saying that you don't see all the hardships that they have to go through as a person. It's saying that where they come from, what they do, their traditions don't matter.
Yeah, erasing their culture and stuff.
Us being colored, us being the way that they are makes us who we are. Color makes us who we are, the texture of our hair, the way that we look. That's just who we are. The places that we come from are very important. Don't say you don't see color. Don't say your race doesn't matter because it does matter. It's very important that you recognize that where someone comes from is very important. Not all people like where they come from, and I understand that. But for the people who are very happy for who they are, recognize them for that. Appreciate that because that's very, very important. I'm happy to be the way that I am. I'm not a full race. I'm a half race. I'm little bits and pieces of different races, and I appreciate them all. And some of the races that I am not, I appreciate them just as much because races are beautiful. Being different is beautiful. It shouldn't be discriminated upon. You shouldn't judge somebody because they have different hair color, or they dress a certain way, or they look a certain way, or they speak a certain way. Because not everybody is the same, and that's boring if they were. That'd be very boring if we all had the same voice, the same accent, the same color, hair texture. That's boring. Very boring. And it's disrespectful when you come up to a colored person and say, I don't see color, or being disrespectful and saying, touching their hair and doing things without their permission. There's a difference between culture appreciation and culture discrimination.
Appropriation, all that stuff.
Other stuff like that.
Speaking of appropriation and appreciation, we can talk about that video.
So first video that we watched.
Topic of this week.
There was a video of a white male student in college.
19, 20, something like that.
Yeah, around that age, and he was wearing dreads.
And this grown-ass woman,
she disrespected him by saying that he shouldn't be wearing dreads, that he shouldn't be the way that he is. That's disrespectful. I don't give a fuck what race you are. If you want to wear dreads, go ahead and wear dreads. As long as you're not, disrespecting us in a way that, we have to say something to you, or saying something about dreads, like they're dirty or stuff like that, that's disrespectful. Dreadlocks are not dirty. In fact, people wash them a lot to make sure they don't get dirty.
They're practically locks. You kind of have to.
You have to wash them a lot. Because if you don't, they're going to get stuff caught in them.
And white people, when they do their dreadlocks, they gotta put like beeswax or something in it. It's weird.
In certain things. And it's just disrespectful. Don't ever approach anyone and say that they can't be doing what they do just because they're not that race. Okay, you eat tacos, you eat certain foods, but you're not that race. Has anybody approached you and said you can't eat Asian food because you're not Asian? No, we didn't. No one has. And if they did, then that's disrespectful and you should tell them about it. But don't go fighting people just because they're doing something different from you or doing something that you don't like. Because we're not here to please you. Don't think that everything revolves around you, because it doesn't. And respect the people around you. You always hear, treat people the way you want to be treated. That's huge. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Because if someone disrespected you, you wouldn't like it. You'd have an attitude too. So when somebody's having an attitude or being disrespectful, confront them about it. Tell them you don't like it. What did I say? Don't like that.
But not if you're like, I'm white, so I don't really like get a say in the whole racist thing. But like if you're a certain race and you go, like if you're a white person and you see a black person being racist to a non-white, non-black person, you don't get to call that out. That's not what you do. It's you're not involved. I mean, like you can say like, hey, that's not okay, but it's not your place to go and say like, hey, you can't call this person a pendejo or whatever, or oh, you can't say this, you can't say that, because you're white or you're non-black and you're non-Latina. If you're not a person of color, basically, you can't just call out racism when you're not involved.
Yeah. Okay. Being disrespectful against someone and being racist are two different things. Two different things. If you see two people arguing, one speaking English, one speaking Spanish, don't assume it's racism, because it's probably not.
True.
Because there's a lot of people talk about this lady was getting mad at a white male, a black female was getting mad at a white male and talk about how this was racist and oh my god, this racist lady. No, there are multiple reasons why she could have been mad. Then on Facebook, there was a video of a Muslim lady walking fast because there was a black male behind her. And everyone was calling it racist. No. She started walking fast and was about to call the police, but then she thought she was going to be robbed by him. But at the last moment when she was walking into the street, he grabbed her purse and pulled her back because she was about to be hit by a car. Because she was paying attention to what he was doing and not what she was doing. You gotta pay attention to what you're doing, first off. Second off, people were calling that racist. There are multiple scenarios of what could have been happening. Like, she could have been afraid because there was a male behind her. She was afraid she was going to get robbed because it was a male. She could have been scared because it was a man. Not because it's just a black man and all black men rob people, because they don't. Picking up what I'm saying here?
I think they're picking up what you're laying down.
Yeah. Then let's go to stereotypes. This is my favorite topic of all time, because let's start off with my situation first. I was in the store with my mom, and a lady dropped her object, and I picked it up for her. I said, "Excuse me, miss, you dropped your wallet." And she goes, "Oh, I didn't expect you to speak like that." Like what? Proper? I didn't say that because, I didn't say that out loud. She's like, I was like, speak like what?
Because we're not out here trying to be killed.
She said, ghetto. What is speaking ghetto? Slang? Like everyone uses?
Slang doesn't make you uneducated, but a lot of people assume it, especially if you're a person of color, especially if you're black.
What is me speaking proper, not speaking the way you thought I was going to speak? I'm educated. I'm trying to get to college. Why do I have to put up with the thought of someone thinking that I'm uneducated and I speak a certain way, or I think a certain way, or I'm going to do something that I don't do just because one person in our entire group sets an example and we all get stereotyped for it?
Seriously.
Just because a certain amount of people do something in our race doesn't make us them. I am me. I am who I want to be. I get to decide what I want to do, when I want to do it, because it's me. You don't choose for me. Don't tell me I'm not going to college because of my color, or because I can't do something because of who I am. Don't you ever tell me that, because boy will I prove you wrong. Don't ever tell somebody they can't do something because of what they look like or how they act. That doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't like it if someone accused you of not being able to do something because you're white, or you're not smart enough because you're white.
Nobody does that. People take, so white people suck. We're awful. We've come and there's so many white school shooters. There's so many, the fucking Christopher Columbus was a white ass, and he came and he took over all of this. But nobody says, oh, all white people are awful because there's a lot of school shooters and all of them are white. Or all white people are awful because this white person did something. White people are allowed to be individuals, but people take people of color and said, oh, this one black guy robbed something, so all black people are robbers. This one group of Muslims bombed people, so now all of Islam is totally ISIS. Or this one group of Asians was strict on their kids, so now all Asians are anal about getting good grades. It makes no sense, and it's really just stupid.
Yeah, back to what you were saying about, the stereotypes. Bruh. There's majority of kids, I'm not saying all kids, all white kids of color, or white kids, or any kids of color are shooters. But majority of them you see on TV, they're white. You don't hear them saying, watch out for kids that look like this because they could be school shooters. No, but as soon as it comes down to a black kid, a black person, a Hispanic, a Latino, anything of color, anything that isn't white, watch out for these type of people because don't you ever say watch out for this type of person, because you don't know what a person can do. You don't know what they do. You don't know what they look like. I understand if you're being cautious, but don't take that out on the entire race. Don't say a person because they have tattoos is going to act a certain way, because some people that I know, they have a bunch of tattoos and they're sweeties. Don't ever say that because they have tattoos or their hair is colored that they're going to act a certain way. Don't you ever stereotype anybody, because if it was you would not like it. I guarantee you wouldn't like it, because no one likes being stereotyped. Put into a place that you don't belong. Putting in a place that you don't need to be in. And also, I would I'm going to wrap this up real quick. Also,
not trying to interrupt, she's doing such a good job. I'm in awe.
The last
this
part
is why she had an A+ in debate.
Let me just add one last thing for everybody. Don't tell anybody they can't do anything because of where they came from or what they do or what their struggles were. One of my friends, he has a lot of problems at home, and they just talk down to him, and they make him feel like he's not important or he can't do things that I know he can, we know he can, and people are his friends tell him he can. But because of all that disrespect, and let me add on, he's a white male. Let me just add on, he's been abused, he's been talked down to, he's been almost arrested a couple times, only for defending himself. He's been placed in a place where he thinks he can't do anything because of what he's been through. If you're going through something like that, let me just tell you right now, don't ever let anybody tell you you can't do something because of what you've been through or what you're going through. And if somebody's going through the same thing, let them know it's going to be okay, because there isn't anything worse than someone talking down to you when you're already in a bad position. If you're going through a hard time, a rough time because of your color, because of what you're going through, because of the way you speak, write, or do something a certain way that people don't do things, don't let it bother you, because there's people who are going to love you and appreciate the way that you are. There's always going to be someone who looks at you and goes, wow, they're amazing. I can see them going to do great things. So don't ever talk down to somebody or make you feel, don't make them feel like you're better than them. And don't let anybody make them feel like they're better than you. Don't tell anybody that they're better than you or you're better than them, because that puts you in a bad place. It puts them in a bad place. It puts everybody in a bad mood. You're going to be upset all the time. You're not going to be able to do anything, get anything productive done. And then what are you doing? You're fulfilling what they said for you. So to everybody out there who's going through a hard time, let me just tell you right now. Be careful. And if you be careful, appreciate who you are, where you come from, what you do, and why you're different. Appreciate your abilities, your disabilities. Appreciate your imperfections. Don't let anybody look at you and say, oh, you're good at this, but you're horrible at this. You're okay in this, but you can improve. If you think you're in a good place, then stay in that good place. But there's always room for improvement. Don't let anybody talk down to you. And just be positive all the time. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Like and comment and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Maybe the next video I'll do something I can actually talk about. I'm no shade that you deserve that, but like my white ass.